Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. This is the WOW podcast, WOWW, Wendy's on Wellness Wednesday. I am Dr. Wendy Sumassi. I'm a board certified alternative medical practitioner. I am a retired ER and trauma nurse, wife, mom, Gigi, lover of Jesus, lover of all things natural, cook, gardener, all the things. And this is my amazing friend, Wendy Flournoy.
And owner of Freedom Holistic
And
Wellness.
owner of Freedom Holistic Wellness. Yes, let's not forget that. And author. I keep forgetting that
That's
one.
right. And author. Always forget the author part.
I know. Why do I forget author? I'm getting ready to do my second book and I keep forgetting that piece. All right.
I'm Wendy Flournoy, certified hypnotherapist, certified handwriting analyst, wife, mom, Gigi, lover of Jesus, lover of all things natural and non-toxic.
And quite the herbal and foraging extraordinaire.
Yes, got all of that, didn't I?
That's okay. We are, what's beautiful is that in this natural life, we pick up more and more things that we find that we're so passionate about. And there's, God gave us so many gifts to be able to heal, to be able to live well, to be able to do all the things. And this is a new thing that we're living in a world of so much disease. This is a new thing in the last 100 years where we just have so much disease, really the last 50 years, especially, but the last 100 years. And, we end up with all these things that we're passionate about because all of a sudden it's like, wow, I never knew that. Wow, I never knew that. And we go down all these new paths.
But the more you dig into it, the more you find out this is not new at all.
No, just new to us, weirdo 21st century people that, that had no idea that all this was normal life for people. So, which actually brings us to our first topic, which I find fascinating. Got a great question. My dear friend, Janet Miller, who watches us faithfully.
Yes. Hi, Janet.
Yes. Hi, Janet. And in case my grandbabies are watching.
Yes.
I got my little 2-year-old granddaughter got very upset because she kept waving to us apparently when we were live last, and Gigi wasn't waving back. So hi baby, hi sugar.
Gigi's.
So just in case. But anyway, what were we saying? Janet asked us about food grade essential oils. What's the difference? What is the big deal about food grade essential oils? That was a fantastic question.
Absolutely, because I never even really thought about it.
Well, you know why? Because we use quality oils.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why, and it's not that other people don't. People don't know. People don't know that there's a difference, and there is a big market for food grade essential oils because the difference isn't known. So let me explain that. Yeah. That sounded a little judgy. That's not what I meant. We've all been there. We all started somewhere.
We all start somewhere.
Yes, 100%. So with food grade essential oils, basically, if you are using good quality essential oils that are organic, or you are making them yourself, distilling them yourself, or just purchasing good quality organic essential oils, you want to get from a company that's willing to send you the GC, all the testing that they do. Yeah. If they are willing to send you the testing from each batch, the mass spec, and oh my goodness, anyway, they do all this testing. Yeah. If they send,
you can request that information.
Request that, and they have it for every batch. If you have a good company, they will provide that happily. Some of them even include it in the packaging of each one. What food grade essential oils are, and this is what makes them food grade. First of all, they have to meet the standards of the FDA. Are you ready to laugh with me? Because we don't trust the FDA anyway, but that's what makes them food grade. They have to meet the standards of the FDA, which y'all, all the toxins in your food meet the standard of the FDA. So that don't mean so much. But they also are required to put the nutrition facts on the label if they are food grade. Now, are they any different than any others? No. All oils, if they are raised right, have they're either known for being toxic or non-toxic when ingested. Okay. So certainly don't go ingesting any oils until you find out if they are toxic or non-toxic. Now, things like peppermint oil, lavender oil, things like that, that are in food all the time, those are fine, but you want to make sure you are using an organic. I can't stress that enough, y'all.
Quality, or definitely organic and a quality oil.
We talk about essential oils a lot, and the thing is that there's so much misinformation out there. Look at me, I'm gonna be the disinformation police. No, I'm just kidding. There's so much misinformation out there because when essential oils really took off, they took off because there were a couple of really big marketing companies that made them very, very popular. A couple of the multi-level marketing companies, and unfortunately, they are a lot pricier than they are worth. And they are not the quality that you can get from others. They aren't organic. But here's the thing. Why is organic so important when it comes to your essential oils? If you are getting, so first of all, essential oil, they're distilling and extracting the essence out of the out of the plant, out of whatever it is, the plant matter. You are getting a very concentrated amount of what that plant is made of in those essential oils. If you are getting that from a plant that has been genetically modified, that has been sprayed with goodness knows what, you are getting that in your essential oil and in a concentrated form. So not just if you are planning on consuming it or putting in products that you plan, in recipes. If you are going to distill it in your house, if you are going to use it in your lotions, if you are going to do anything with it, you are getting a concentrated form of that oil. Please get organic.
That is why a little bit goes such a long way.
It does. It does. It doesn't take much, a couple of drops. And I mean, it makes a huge difference in whatever you're doing. I know you make soaps, Wendy. I use it in lip balms, as I know you do too. In homemade lip balms. I've used it in homemade deodorant.
Even bath salts and shower steamers and things like that.
Yes, I distill it. I mean, I diffuse it in my bedroom. A lot of times I do it here in my office. I put organic peppermint oil in my coffee this time of year because it is so good. But I mean, so there's so many uses, but you must get organic. Okay. And I know that sounds like, well, duh. No. The biggest name companies are not. I'm just here to tell you they are not. And it is no telling what kind of poison is in those essential oils that you are diffusing and that you are putting in your food and everything. I don't care if they say food grade. Look at all the food grade stuff that
the FDA allows a bunch of toxic crap.
Yes. So organic, high quality. Just to give you some names of some that I like, and I'm sure Wendy will have some too. I love the organic plant therapy line.
That's one of my favorites.
Plant therapy has just about everything available. Not everything. Every once in a while, they don't have a certain one, but I have other brands too. But they also have a line that is not organic. So you've got to specify with them and look at the bottles when you're going to order them. You want their organic line. I'm really glad. It looks like, because I just ordered some new the other day. What was it? I think it was a new lavender I ordered because I was out, and they're starting to change the labels on the organic ones and make them look very different. Because before, the only difference in the regular and organic was just the word organic. So you definitely that's going to help a lot to determine the difference. But
Guru Nanda They
Huh?
have the Guru Nanda line. They have
Yes,
some very good clean oils,
they
organic.
do. Clyganic. I really like Clyganic.
Okay.
I've bought quite a few of
I
theirs.
haven't tried any of theirs.
Yeah, I really like theirs. They even have a really good unscented almond carrier oil too,
Okay.
so that if you're making, some home stuff with that. Um, um, let me see here. Essential 3 is one that I
Mhm.
use that I really like. There's a couple of smaller companies that I found because it's what my aromatherapy professor recommended when I
Recommended
was in school. Julia Rose Botanicals, Essential 3, that was some of her favorites, and I love them. But because they're so small, you get whatever they happen to have on hand.
at the
So they,
time,
they
right?
don't always have everything. But
Mountain Rose Herbs is a great resource because they always have ethically sourced and organic.
good. Good. Yeah. So, yes, we're actually, when we talk about some viral therapies, we're going to talk about, I love purchasing things made in the USA, but
Yeah,
y'all, unfortunately, right now, until we get things fixed, hopefully with this Maha movement, that doesn't always mean that's a good thing when it
right.
comes to crops and how they've been raised.
Yep.
So,
A lot of other places do that better than
yeah.
us.
Yeah. Now, there are some that, that are good that raise them here, but again, make sure it's organic. Make
Yes,
sure it's
please.
organic over everything.
Yes.
So again, to answer the question that Janet had, which was a great question, which by the way, if you all have any questions about anything, send them in to us at
Yes.
wendy'sonwellness@gmail.com. But the food grade has to follow the FDA standards. Grass, generally recognized as safe, and you see my sarcasm with that because we don't trust that anyway. And it has to have nutritional facts. So that is the only thing different. Otherwise, just make sure that what you're consuming is something meant to be consumed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
do you have anything else to add to essential oils, Wendy?
No, I never, I'm glad Janet asked that question because I never really thought about it because I
Mhm.
always buy quality oils.
Yeah.
So I use them any way that I want to use them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I
and
never thought about it.
yeah, it's a great question because if
It
you
is.
don't, I know back before I knew better, and I used to purchase from one of those big companies that we talked about.
I
Um,
did too. My
they
first
had
thing was like a huge set from one of those
right.
companies.
They had regular and food grade. And I always thought, okay, well, that's interesting because isn't peppermint oil supposed to be okay in food anyway? And I never
Right.
understood it, but now it makes more sense
Absolutely.
to know, why that is. But if it's not food grade, it doesn't mean it's not safe to consume if you're getting a good quality organic essential oil that is one of those that's safe to consume. Please do not go just dropping any old essential oil in your food because
No.
some of them are toxic.
Or even
Um,
breathing
yeah,
it in and
yeah,
because I know a lot of people get into oils because of the diffusing.
yes,
So, I mean, if you're breathing that in,
mhm,
please, please, please
yeah,
look into it first before you go breathing in toxic stuff.
right. And pets. A
Yes.
lot of it's really fascinating when you look into a cat or a dog's metabolism.
Yes.
They have something in their pancreas that will convert some of these essential oils that are perfectly fine for us
And
and will convert it into a poison that can kill
yeah,
them. So you really want to be careful with their it's an enzyme that they have in their body and it can kill them. So
yeah,
you definitely want to be careful not to give your animal, not to be diffusing things that are harmful to your animals as well.
absolutely.
Anyway,
I had
um,
to I had to always look it up what
yeah,
on which ones affected the dogs and the cats and
yeah,
things like that.
yes,
I don't do a lot of diffusing
hmm
because I like what I call herbal simmer pots better.
yes, I
So
love
I'll put
doing
the
that.
herbal simmer pots on the stove and I know that's fine. I don't
Yes.
add any oils or anything to it.
Yeah, I love doing that too. I do the same, especially this time
Oh,
of year with like
yes.
dried oranges and dried and cinnamon sticks and bay leaves
Yes.
and all. Oh, I love that. Love
Yes.
that.
I do
Um,
too.
One thing that we need to bring up today, we have a women's health conference that we are going to be speaking at.
Yes, Saturday, January the 11th at New Kent Christian Center.
In Virginia, near the Richmond Airport. So if anybody is interested, they are, as far as I know, now this is a recorded, most of our episodes are live. This one's recorded, but as of the time that we are recording this, tickets are still available.
Yes.
For this. And
have they opened it to the public? I know it's on Facebook under New Kent Christian Center. It is open to the public. It's a Women's Health Day. Wendy and I are both guest speakers, and then they have another lady from their church that attends their church who is a nurse, and I think she's their medical something for their. They have a private school on site and everything, so I think she's heavily involved in all of the stuff for New Kent Christian Center. Awesome. Don't quote me on that, but if you go to the Facebook, find New Kent Christian Center and the invite, they have all the information on there. It's going to be like 9 to 12. So it's not going to take, all day or anything, but it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, I know I'm going to have a lot of my books there. Hopefully by then it'll be updated. I'm working on the update.
PhD.
Yes, with PhD instead of RN. So yeah, excited about that. But yeah, very excited.
Yeah, my friend Tracy Bell kind of started this all off for us, and God bless her, and the Tammy Hunt Johnson. We did a Zoom call with her and Tracy, and I love how it's evolved. I think it's going to be a great day, and
it is.
What better way to worship God than to just be excited and talk about all things natural that He's given us.
Yep. All of His amazing gifts for sure.
Right. That's
so, yeah, that'll be a great morning. Anybody who lives close to that area or just feels like making a road trip, we'd love
and it's free.
Yeah. All right, it's viral season. I hear you have been up to something, or will be.
Talking about Tracy Bell, a couple weeks ago, I told y'all she dropped off these gumballs, these sweet gumballs. Okay,
that's so awesome.
You guys, this is what they originally used to start making Tamiflu.
That's
this and star anise.
Okay.
So the thing that's in the sweet gumballs and the star anise that makes it so wonderful is called shikimic acid.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Now listen to this. All right, I'm going to look at my notes because all of this information I got directly from the National Institute of Health.
Okay.
So
which don't always trust, but they do share all the things.
They have so many studies on what they have found about this shikimic acid.
Nice. Oh, I want to hear this. Okay.
So, and they even give you history on how they found out about it. So the medicinal uses of the shikimic acid date back to the Aztec Empire, 10,000 to 7,000 BC. All right. So they found through historical means that the Aztecs would boil down the inner bark of the sweet gum tree and produce something called storax. And they would use this for treatments with the skin infections, controlling coughs, dysentery, and for treating sores and wounds externally. Then forward to the Native Americans. The Native Americans also used this storax, which come from the bark, and then they also started using what was falling from the trees for medicinal purposes. And they also would boil it down, and they would use the bark and the balls raw as like an incense in their fire. And they would dry them and crush them and mix them with tobacco leaves and smoke that as a sedative.
Ooh.
I was like, oh, okay. And then they would dry the stuff and make it into a powder, and they would use it in their soaps. And the women made cosmetic stuff or
really
perfumes, adhesives, and lacquers. out of all of this, I'm like, okay, this is just fascinating.
That's awesome.
So, in order for us to easily use the medicinal properties of this, you just take these and you boil them to make like a tea.
Okay.
Okay. And then you use it. So I haven't actually done this yet. This is on my to-do list very shortly here. I'm gonna boil them down. I'm gonna make a tea, see what it tastes like on its own. And if it's not palatable but on its own, then I'm gonna create some kind of something with it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the list from NIH of everything that these are.
Okay.
Antiviral,
Mm.
anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antioxidant, antifungal, antihypertensive, antimicrobial, anti-convulsant. So they have
Really?
used this to create medicines for epilepsy,
Wow.
right? Wound healing, anti-ulcerogenic.
Mm,
It's a mouthful.
it is.
Anticoagulant, and a natural pesticide. And I
Wow.
was like, oh, I had to dig a little deep for the natural pesticide. So I guess it's like this, it has to do with this shikimic acid. So
Okay.
when the shikimic acid is released, something about it is like a natural pesticide. And I'm like, that's amazing.
I would love to know what pests it affects because that could be something we could boil down and use as a spray on our gardens.
Yes, and
Or powder.
I would think it would be more of like fungal since it's antifungal,
Okay. Yep.
you know?
Mhm.
That's what I'm thinking. I would have to dig a little bit more on this, but I just wanted to get like an overall view of it. And when I was looking for information and researching it, the NIH had the most information about it and all the studies listed in their, in their sources. And I'm like, this is amazing. All in
That's
one place.
awesome. That
It
is
was,
awesome.
yes, very eye-opening.
I love that. So
Yeah.
you're gonna boil it down. When you boil it down and make a tea,
Mhm.
your plan is to use it like a Tamiflu. So like
Yes.
is it gonna be more preventative or as Tamiflu is, if you all of a sudden get the flu, then you'll
I'm
take
going to use it more as a preventative, but I will tell you this, in researching this, star anise also has the same amount of shikimic acid as sweet gumballs.
Okay.
Okay, so I found that fascinating too, because it's like, okay, well, if you don't have access to these anywhere, every single one of us should have access to star anise.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am going to take half of these gumballs and boil them with star anise.
Okay.
And half of them without, because I want to experience the gumballs alone by
Yeah, sure.
themselves.
Sure.
So, and the other half I'm going to boil with star anise, just because it's the same. From everything I've researched so far, the star anise has the same properties as the sweet gumball.
That's fascinating.
Yes, it is.
I love that.
Yes, it is.
And you know what? I just have to say something since you got all this from the NIH, and most people who follow us, many people who follow us, feel the way we do about a lot of the government agencies. And I just have to tell you that you can get some amazing information from the NIH because they do so much research and they post everything. They publish, I should say,
They publish every study that they take from or look at or do, and other sources too.
Yes. And the reason why you can find a lot of natural studies of theirs is because even though it turns into a sinister reason, not by them, by the drug companies want to know what has been used in history. The drug companies won't admit it because they want you to buy their drugs. They want to know what our ancestors were healing each other with.
Well, about 98% of our pharmaceuticals originated somehow from plants.
Yeah. You remember we talked about this one day about daffodils.
Yes.
And about how one thing that I just find so fascinating that God does for us is if all of a sudden you have something that you notice that's growing that isn't something
That
you've
you didn't
ever noticed
plant and
before.
it just kind of, you never noticed it before.
I'm telling you, and some of y'all might think this is woo woo. I think this is just a God gift. But all of a sudden, you'll notice something. Research that plant because
Yep.
it very well may be something that you need. I
Right
mean,
then.
when Bill had cancer, we had some daffodils. All of a sudden, we had all these daffodils, and it was the same year that my mom also came and started visiting us, and or like she always had visited us, but without my daddy because my daddy was gone. He had passed away, and she had developed dementia. I find out the daffodils are the origination of a lot of the chemotherapy drugs
Oh, wow.
and
Mhm.
also help with Alzheimer's. Now, it's
Okay.
never been to the point because I think that there's definitely a toxic level of them. So I've
Yes, there
never
is.
played around with them on my own, but just to know that they were there right at the time when we've got my mom with the dementia and Bill with the cancer, and I just thought that was so amazing. When I first when you first discovered at my house the mullein,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Bill was still a smoker, and he was really struggling with his, he was starting to have, a lot of respiratory infections and things like that. Praise God, he stopped smoking. But all of a sudden we have all this mullein, and you're telling me you're like, Wendy, that's the best thing in the world for respiratory infections. And I'm like, what? It didn't used to be there. It just showed up. So,
Yep. God will put it there right when you need it.
yep.
He sure will.
Yep. And mullein is very safe to use. So we
Yes, it is.
definitely dried that out and used that.
Yes, it is.
Well,
That can even be just burnt and inhaled,
yeah, yeah,
to get it right directly in there.
yeah,
I
yeah,
find that tinctures take a little bit of a time,
yeah.
but if you burn it and inhale, then that works like immediately,
That's
starts breaking
amazing.
things up, opening things up.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
almost like a natural albuterol.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely don't discount things that you find that is true research from NIH because NIH is
Yes,
their research is fantastic. It
it
really is.
is.
The problem we have with them is that 90 to 95% of their research is funded by the pharmaceutical companies. So they have an agenda behind them.
Yes.
So hopefully that's going to change with the Maha movement. I know that one of the things I have heard both RFK and Callie Means and multiple people involved in that talk about is that the goal is to let's shift that. Let's
Yes.
let's let's utilize the NIH in all of their you know
I heard Elon and Vivek, both of the Doge department, they want to break those alliances.
yeah. Oh, they have to be.
Not that they want to shut down NIH or anything
No,
like
no, no,
that,
no.
but the alliances that are causing the backdoor deals.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the NIH, I will just tell you with our personal experience, and this is something I really, I have to give them credit. And I've mentioned this before. Bill had to go there because his tumor, when he had cancer, we now know, we didn't know at the time, was being fed by his rheumatoid arthritis medicines. And he was having such rapid growth, it was blowing the minds of the doctors at Johns Hopkins.
Wow.
And they were the ones that referred him to the NIH because they were like, we've never seen anything like this.
So it
And
was from his medicine that he was taking for the.
it was
Oh wow.
fueling it, fueling it, fueling it. They
Wow.
had already changed his medicine once because they figured that the methotrexate probably was the initial cause of the cancer. So what they changed him to, unfortunately, caused even post cancer, it was no longer a malignant tumor, but it caused the benign tumor to grow at a rapid pace.
Explode.
It was wild. You could almost look at it week to week and just see the difference. It was
Wow.
insane. And they kept
Wow.
telling us, they were like, well, it's not malignant. You can do what you want. You can get it taken, you can have it removed or not. It was in a place that, I won't share specifics, but it was in a place that would have been very difficult to remove and not cause some major, life changes for
Yeah.
him. And so we didn't want to go that route at first. And so when we got the NIH involved and they determined that that's exactly what caused it, first of all, I got to tell y'all, they treated us like a king and queen. They were amazing.
Okay.
The best of the best doctors. They didn't charge us a
Mhm.
dime. They don't ask you for insurance. They don't do anything. And they're going to follow him for 10 years for anything. And his son, because he's another genetic connection. They said if
Okay.
he ever has any kind of unusual illnesses, please bring him to us because we want to make sure there's no direct connection, like no genetic
Right.
piece. So
That's amazing.
yeah, and
I remember when you were going there and you're like, I'm so impressed with
oh,
how they do everything.
I'm telling you, absolutely world class. And I mean, like
Yeah,
we have our own amazing master's level nurse who works with his primary doctor over there, and it's like a concierge service. I mean, she
nice.
walks us everywhere. She makes sure we're fed. We do all the things.
Right.
They walk him straight into the lab, even if there's 100 people waiting. It's like when he's there for his research, he is treated like a king. And
Right.
so it really is. It's just a fantastic organization when it's utilized right.
Well,
So,
sure. And I think a lot of the organizations, the intentions are well, and
mhm,
that the daily, everyday people like that work there and are passionate about what they do,
mhm,
um, the good intentions are there to
absolutely.
do right by the masses.
Yeah.
I think when you get those backdoor agreements, or somebody that was on the board of this company
The
is now
Anthony
on the
Fauci's of
board
the
over
world.
here, uh, then you start getting kind of spider webbed and
Yeah.
tangly, and certain agendas that are wanting to be passed instead of what's good for the people.
Yeah, yeah. The almighty dollar speaks. And
Yes,
so I'm very excited about a lot of the changes that it sounds like are going to be coming
I am
for
too.
the NIH. Because if we can flip that, you know what? Sure, the pharmaceutical companies need somebody to do some research. So if we can do 10 or
Sure,
20% is funded by the pharmaceutical companies, but the bulk is truly what
sure.
is going to be good health for
Well,
our
sure. I mean,
people.
look at EWG, Environmental Working
Oh,
Group.
they're amazing.
They're I mean, they don't allow themselves to be, given money by lobbyists and things
Nope,
like that.
nope.
They're privately funded, and they do accept public donations from
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
but and I think that's part of the reason that they stay so
true.
unbiased.
Yeah,
And okay, this is how it is. This is what we've tested,
yep. That's
and
how it should
I
be.
would trust anything that I would get from their website. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I agree. I agree. I feel the
Whereas
same.
NIH, I had when I was researching the sweet gum and everything, it's like you go to a few places, it's like trust but verify.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah,
like, okay, NIH has some great information. Let me see what others are saying too,
yeah.
and see if it kind of matches up.
Mhm.
But they did. They had all of the great information all in one place with the history of it and everything. So I was kind of blown away that they had all of that
Yeah,
on NIH.
yeah. And again, it very well could have been originated from something funded by the makers of Tamiflu or
Sure,
one of those other
sure.
pharmaceutical companies because they wanted to know, okay, how were people managing the
Yeah,
flu back, in
yeah,
history? And oh, well, we found out this is a great component. Now, of course, they're going to chemically make it. They're
that's right.
unfortunately not going to
Yeah,
go use sweet gumballs in
right.
that. But they're going to try and replicate it. But to know that we could potentially have something like
Sure.
that on hand for our families
Sure,
is
and even if it doesn't turn out exactly like Tamiflu,
yeah.
I mean, first of all, Tamiflu is very, very expensive.
Yes. Yes.
And if you can take gumballs or star anise and make you some kind of tea, and it ends up being antiviral,
Yeah.
antifungal, antibacterial, antimicrobial,
Mhm.
I mean, you got nothing to lose,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Now, is there, I'm is there a toxic level to this? It's not something that, like, you just drink unlimited amounts of tea, or did you see that yet?
I wouldn't, as many anti things that it is, I wouldn't think there's a toxic level. I will do more research and we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Um, I would say everything in moderation. And when you're putting something like this into your rotation. I would think I wouldn't use this unless I was feeling bad,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless I was, sick already.
Right.
Because I'm up until I'm sick, I'm using the garlic honey, the fire cider,
Yep.
the turmeric paste with
Yep.
honey. I'm doing all of those things
Yep.
to keep from getting to where I'm sick.
We think more preventatively, but it's nice to have things like that on hand
Yes.
when you get sick. The apple cider vinegar is,
Yes.
which I know is in the fire cider, but the raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar
Yes.
is fantastic for that, and it also has all those properties. But it's a wonderful preventative
Mhm.
if you make a tea with that every day too.
Right.
So
Speaking of that, I'm
uh-huh.
going to pop away for just 1 second.
Okay,
I'm going to get something to share.
okay.
So talk more about the
Okay.
apple cider
Well,
vinegar.
then, you know what I'm going to bring up? This is something I wanted to share that I use. I love this. This is my ultrafine vitamin C powder. And I just wanted to tell you, it's called, the company is GMO free vitamins.
Okay.
I started, I'll show you, Wendy, since you're back.
Yeah.
Um, I know you've seen this before. This
Oh,
is
yeah, the vitamin C.
yeah. Since we're talking about viral treatments, this time of year, I am putting this in just about every glass of water I take. High dose vitamin C is a very safe way to fight.
Yes. It
And
boosts. I mean, because we need it. This time of
yeah.
year, we need that.
Well, and let's go back to foundations. Eat clean.
Yes.
Get rid of the processed foods. Don't overdo the sugar, even the natural sugars.
Because that's going to boost your immune
Yeah.
system like crazy.
That alone boosts your immune system tremendously. I can't tell you the last time I was sick. Honestly, now let me knock on wood. I might get sniffles, I might get something like that occasionally, but
Sure.
overall it's very rare for me to get full-blown knocked out sick. And so it's because of our lifestyle. It's
Yeah.
because of the eating clean and all
Like
this.
she said, we're not saying we don't get the sniffles or
Oh
start
no,
to get junked up, but
it's
we do
life.
try to do a lot of the preventatives
Right.
to, boost things up.
And the main reason why I wanted to share this, when we were talking earlier about how you can't always trust things that are made in the USA, I was furious to find that most of the vitamin C's that are made in the USA, this is the case with a lot of supplements, they're not made here as in grown here. They're, they receive the powder or whatever from China or some other company that has mass produced it.
Yep.
And then they're just putting it in capsules and calling it made in the USA.
Yeah.
Or if it is being grown in the United States, it is rare when you find it anymore that it's made from the Osceola cherries, from citrus fruits, from all the things that you think that they would be making it from. No, these days they're making it from genetically modified corn.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Crazy. It's
So
crazy.
yeah, so I had to research and find this company is based out of the UK, and I found them on Amazon, but I did a lot of research. They're based out of the UK. Everything that they raise is GMO free. They raise it there, they package it
Nice.
there, they do all the things. So mine is not USA, it is corn free. So
That's one of the things that I am very hopeful is going to change with
oh my gosh, it
with
has
with
to.
the regenerative farming
Yes.
growing and becoming more and more in the States. I think we will end up with some really great stuff.
I think so too. And so if you're trying to figure out how to prevent yourself, especially during the holidays, because everybody seems to have somebody in their family sick at Christmas.
Well, because we run. Most
Yeah.
people are eating a lot of junk.
Sugar.
We run ourselves to death. We're not getting enough sleep.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep. So and then
Start
travel.
with the food.
Yep.
Boost your vitamin C.
Yep. You can't overdo this, y'all. They teach us in school when I was working on my doctorate to do vitamin C to bowel tolerance. Sounds atrocious, but I'm telling you, I will this time of year easily take in 12,000 milligrams,
Nice.
if not more, of vitamin C, and I've never had that bowel tolerance issue.
Yeah.
If you you can't take in too much vitamin C. Your body will flush it out if it's not needed, usually in the form of urine. If you get to the point where you are having diarrhea, you have gone far enough.
Back off a little.
Back off a touch. But I seriously, I've never had that happen to me, and I take a lot this time of year. So this is a great form. I mix this in my water. If you have reflux, you probably don't want to do the powders because they can aggravate your esophagus and your gut. But if you don't have reflux, if you eat healthy and are doing just fine with that, this is a great option.
Okay, so when I popped out, we were talking about apple cider vinegar, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, y'all know it took me forever to get around to processing all my apples, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Apple cider vinegar started.
Oh, nice.
Rick was nice enough to get me these fermentating releasers, because 2 years ago when I made apple cider vinegar, because typically the batch will last me 2 years. I ended up blowing up a jar because I didn't burp it quick enough. So he bought me these so I would not have to clean up apple scraps off of our ceilings.
That's awesome.
How wonderful. And you can see all the bubbles.
Oh, it's perfect.
It's got one glass weight in the top holding everything below the liquid.
Okay.
So it'll take, it'll probably take about 6 months, 8 months till it forms the mother.
Yeah.
And really gets going. So I'm excited about that. Awesome. Apple cider vinegar, raw apple cider vinegar is so good for you.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. And it's so great because you can just use the scraps that you would be otherwise throwing away. When you're making all your apple stuff. Again, we love to use all of the things that we would have used to have thrown away.
The cores and everything can go in there. You add a little, well, these are half-gallon jars. So I added a 1/4 cup of organic cane sugar to get that fermenting process going.
Sure.
And that's it. Distilled water.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yay. Good deal.
What else you have for viral season?
Oh, goodness. You mentioned a lot of what I do. We do the garlic and honey. We keep the onion and honey on hand for if we get a cough.
Great for coughs.
Yes. The fire cider, like you mentioned, but
elderberry syrup.
Yep. Elderberry. Yep. Also I had mentioned the apple cider vinegar a minute ago, but if you all have ever watched our podcast, I talk a lot about my daily detox tea that I recommend of all my clients and everybody that follows me. But it's literally just you do organic lemon. If you can't find organic lemon, please just squeeze lemon juice into don't put the whole peel in, because that's where all the chemicals hide. Sometimes of the year, this time of year, it should be easy to find organic lemon, but sometimes of the year it's very difficult. But anyway, so half of an organic lemon, Ceylon cinnamon stick, the 1 to 2 tablespoons of the raw unfiltered organic apple cider vinegar. If you don't have your own homemade like Wendy, get the Fairchild's brand. They no longer sell on Amazon, which I would love to know why, but I'm proud of them. But you can go to their website and they do not charge shipping. So it's wonderful.
Nice.
You can buy it in bulk if you want to save money. It only ends up being like $10 a jar if you buy a pack of 6 of them. But the Fairchild's apple cider vinegar is so good. And the reason I recommend them, they're the only ones I can find that have not diluted their acidity. They are still at 6.2, 6.3% acidity. And that's really important for the medicinal properties.
Yes, it is.
All the other brands, Bragg's, all of them have decreased down to 5%. And it's awful.
Not only that, but I saw where some of them are now adding the maltodextrin too.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And what do they need that for?
It's crazy.
The other thing I put in my detox tea is about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of ginger root. and I just drop that in. I will add some other things sometimes, just makes it more complicated, but like turmeric with pepper. I'll do the cayenne extract, things like that. But the base 4 is going to be your lemon, your ginger, your cinnamon, and the apple cider vinegar. And you just fill it to the top of your mug. I'll either do a mug this size, or I'll do one. I prefer my big old 30-ounce.
Right.
Hot
water.
With hot water, because that helps the digestion of that helps your digestion to drink it warm. So that helps this time of year. And I will oftentimes, especially if I'm around people that are sick, I'll do it morning and night. I don't just do it once a day if it's this time of year.
Yeah, because I mean, you have to, and that, to me, that's so much better than coating your hands and germ stuff. What is it called? What is the word?
The antibacterial. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Hand sanitizer.
Sanitizer. That's it.
Yes. That stuff's so bad.
It's horrible because it kills everything.
It kills the good bacteria too. I mean, it has its place. I was grateful for it in the hospital when I was dealing with all kinds of ick, and and maybe you were in a pinch and you couldn't wash real
right.
At the time.
It has its place, but we don't need to be lathering up in sanitizer all the time.
No, it's so bad for us.
The detox drink is better for you than doing that, I think.
Yes, I agree. And if you have an active infection, I'm telling you, there is nothing more relaxing or soothing to me when I'm all sniffly and stuffy. And
have the stuff through here.
Yeah, and I'll have multiple cups of that a day. It just helps so much.
And then your evening one, you could put peppermint in there to help just breathe better before you go to sleep.
Absolutely. Do the simmer pots.
Yes.
With eucalyptus and peppermint, and so good. So good. So what do you have going on this week?
Getting ready for the holidays.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
Christmas is coming.
That's right.
This is our last of 2 recorded episodes. Almost all of ours are live. If you're new to following us, you do not realize that, but almost all of ours are live. But Wendy and I have our rigid flexibility where we will record ahead when we know that we're going to be out of town or something like that. So right now, as we speak, I am with my grandbabies for the second week in a row. And by, let's see here, today's Wednesday of that week. So in 2 days, be praying for me because I'll be flying home crying. Because I always hate leaving them. Aww. But I'll be okay. I'm so blessed to get to see them pretty regularly. So, so we'll be back live on, oh my gosh.
The 18th.
Yeah.
It'll be a week before Christmas.
Yeah. So that'll be awesome. It's sneaking up on us fast.
Yes, it is.
I hope you all are enjoying this amazing holiday season. We're right smack in the middle of it right now. And that everybody is happy and healthy and well.
Staying warm.
Yes. And we, the Freedom Holistic Wellness website is still up and running. We are taking lots of new clients who are ready to jump in, and they're taking advantage of these awesome payment plans that we have.
Right.
So excited about that, making it so much more affordable for everybody. And I have so many people lined up ready to start January 6th and just ready to go first of the year. So excited. And we love you guys. We appreciate your support. Please like us, share us, comment wherever you're watching us. We are
please.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on X. Do all the things.
Facebook, share. Instagram, wherever you can find us.
Share. We appreciate your support.
Yes, we do.
Love
very
you
much.
All. You all have a beautifully blessed rest of your week, and we love you.